This is still the conversation on News Central Television. And right now, let's, of course, bring you up to speed with happenings as regards the elections in South Africa. Joining me on the program is Themba Godi, leader of the African People's Convention Party, joining from Johannesburg at the IER Result Center. Themba, thank you for joining me. Can you just bring us up to speed? What exactly is the latest?
Thank you very much for having me. Right now, the counting stands at 75%, which means we still have about 25% of the votes to be tallied and published. What we have on the boards indicate that there is no party that has a more than 50% majority, meaning that these elections are watershed to the extent that for the first time in 30 years, the party that has been running the country since 1994 has lost its majority. And we had a record number of political parties taking part in these elections, more than 50 for the first time in our history. And if you look at the results, you realize that they are spread throughout the various parties, and I think that did contribute to the loss of a clear winner.
Now, I mean, from what we also understand that nearly 70% of the votes, counted and verified nationally, seem to be in a way in favor of the ANC. Well, in favor of the ANC to the extent that it has the highest number of votes. But in terms of winning, they do not have the 50% plus one majority. And you are talking about a party that at one point had a 2/3 majority in parliament. It is such a huge disappointment for them. There are already reports that there are discussions about the future of their leader, the current state president, Cyril Ramaphosa, in view of the huge losses that they've suffered. Not only at a national level, I think Gauteng, which is the biggest province or state, appears to be gone. KwaZulu-Natal, which is the second biggest, also seems to be gone. The Western Cape, which is the third largest state as well, seem to be gone from there. So, yes, it is in favor of them in that they have the highest number. But it is a loss for them because they've lost their ability to govern on their own, something they've enjoyed for 30 years. All right, now are we looking at a situation where maybe at the end of this, South Africa might just have a coalition government? Most definitely. I think that is what is staring us in the face as a country. And this is the first time that we would have a coalition government at national level as a consequence of an inconclusive election results. It is uncharted waters. We all nervous and don't know how this is going to work. We've seen this in the municipal level, that is the local levels. It has not worked very well. The country is having serious economic challenges, serious infrastructure problems, serious administrative problems. And the question is whether a coalition government would have the capacity and the political wherewithal to tackle all things from Cape West. So it is a state of uncertainty for the country, because we'll be moving into uncharted waters. Now, I mean, should a coalition government happen, I mean, how will this work, particularly in the interest of South Africans and the nation, given the fact that we are seeing it will be a situation whereby parties of different ideologies try to work together? How do you emphasize this will work, being, something really new, in the South African political landscape? Very true. some countries in other parts of the world have had experiences of coalition governments. They have come to develop rules, some written, some unwritten. In our case, there is none. Our only reference will be the local government sphere, which is not a very good example because it has not worked very well. We've seen here where we are, the biggest city, Johannesburg. It is run by a coalition, and it is not delivering. If anything, things are just going from bad to worse. We've seen the coastal metropolitan of Nelson Mandela Bay. Things have not gone very, very well as well. We've seen the coastal metro of Durban in KwaZulu-Natal, where there is a coalition. Things have deteriorated. So if that can be used as a measure, we have every reason to be apprehensive that maybe even at national level, we might be bedeviled by this because there are no rules, there is no precedent, and the absence of political maturity is what can create problems. I mean, look at Germany. You have the Social Democrats, you have the Greens on the one hand, another party. They are in a coalition. The government functions, so it appears there is stability. And it is that which we are apprehensive about, whether we are going to have it in our case or not.
All right, Themba Godi, leader of the African People's Convention Party, joining from Johannesburg at the IER Resort Center. Thank you for your time on the program.